money, throwing it here, there, doing, just in salaries, let alone the dollars that it takes to acquire all the information that is needed to do an investigation and pay off people to give you information that you might not have known. I mean, how else do they do these investigations, You're telling me an apparatus so vast, so large, with what seems to be an unlimited budget, after a year and a half, you can't find a direct link between Donald Trump and Russia in any collusion whatsoever. And the best you're coming up with are what I'm going to say trumped up charges on sublings, the little lemmings that were part of Trump in this manner or that manner. We get the recordings. Are you guys just sick of it? It's Trump, 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 Trump. Bad. Then Trump's out there tweeting, listen, I'm just doing what I can. And then you get the bad things in the media. To me, it's this song and dance that we're getting now. And what the frick has Congress done this whole time? They're accomplishing nothing of what they promised. And we're right up against an election. And this is just me, because I know how slimy these politicians are. And I think the Republicans aren't going to give two craps if they lose a bunch of seats, and it goes right back into the hands of the Democrats, because that way the Republicans don't have to take the frickin' blame for anything. And they can keep pushing it on Trump. Trump's agenda will be stopped. Boom, the American will be stopped because they elected Trump to do stuff, and he hasn't gotten jack crap done, hardly anything major done, because he's had a lot of opposition, yes. But Obamacare is still there. The tax cuts were for corporations, not really for the individuals. I don't take tax credits. I don't think that's a tax cut whatsoever. That's taking your money and giving it right back to you. It's kind of like welfare, actually. Anyways, we got to take our next time out. More on the flip side of this. We're going to talk about the Las Vegas shooting. We might even get into a little more stuff, because there is still some information left to talk about what's going on right here in the United States as referring to the Russia investigation. Be right back.
Don't move a muscle. John LeBang Show. Right back.
With lots of fun and excitement. Yes. Pane in the Glass, commercial and residential window cleaning for a beautiful sparkling shine that's crystal clear. Call Pane in the Glass Window Cleaning. You can find them on Facebook at Pane in the Glass.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
If you want to contact the John LeBang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John LeBang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John LeBang Show. Banger. Now here's John.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me this evening. We're going to move on right here. We'll maybe come back to the collusion with Russia a little later on. But we had a interesting development in the Las Vegas shooting. The police put out their final report. And the report says they know everything except why he did it. They can't figure out why he did it. They're assuming he had some mental issues, but they can't figure out why he did it. In this 187-page final report, the police also do not address the emergency response that they had to the attack. Quote, "This is not a review of every officer's actions or responses that took place that night. Those reviews are internal and are considered personal matters. Very much like the Steele dossier that we just got with a bunch of redactions to it, or the FBI conclusions of the dossier with all the redactions. Don't you love it? National security. Personal matters. A policeman's conduct in an emergency is not a personal matter. That is a matter of public information. But with the rest of the FBI and Las Vegas Department investigation into the shooting, which they can't figure out why Mr. Paddock did it, why he murdered so many people and fired on so many people, they can't figure out why he did it. And they won't tell us the personal information of every officer's response to the mass shooting, how they acted, what they did, why they did it. Doesn't address some of the issues that came up with the videos that were concerned. But hey, the videos that clearly, in my opinion, this is me, this is personal opinion now, clearly shows that there were sounds coming from multiple directions. And there were louder gunshots and quieter gunshots. Some people raised the notion that there were helicopters. I saw flickering lights in the air myself. In fact, I've got some video. See, when those things happen, I download those videos as fast as possible because I want a record of it. Because we know with YouTube and all these other organizations that like to censor us, that some of these things with the most credible evidence seem to disappear. And then you become what they call shadow banned. Some people would say my show has felt the wrath of shadow banning, especially after the Boston bombing. But regardless, we get back to the Las Vegas shooting here. They can't figure out why. So, just wondering, did anybody look into mind control? Is it possible this guy was mind controlled into doing it? Because they can't figure out why. Guy had money, had no debt. Everything was great for the dude. Everything looked like this guy was just a normal dude living out his life. And thriving, pretty much. So, did the police department look into mind control at all? Just wondering. And I'm wondering if this personal information that they're withholding from the public for some kind of security, personal security, national security. I love that. You get that veil, that cloak of invisibility. All you have to, give the government that when they ask you for something. Sorry, that's for personal security. Can't tell you. You know what they're going to tell you for that? Do you know what the government will tell you if you claim personal security? That's private, sir. Can't tell you that. Can't tell you. If they're investigating you and you tell them, sorry, sir, you're not privy to that information. That's part of my home security, my national security, my personal security. I wonder what they would do to you. Oh, we know what they would do to you. Throw your ass in jail, wouldn't they? And then they'd take the information. Because it's always a two-tiered system. Hillary Clinton can destroy her emails, bust up her hard drives, her phones. Nothing happens to her. Nothing. Nothing happens to her. Nope. If you sneezed wrong at the IRS, you owe them money for too long. They're throwing your ass in jail. Gone. Sorry. Or we'll just take all your stuff. Sometimes that's better for them. They'd rather have you broke and shamed in public than throw you in jail. I mean, there's no room there. Since we've got so many illegal immigrants in there and then so many other people in there for pot and whatever. Yet the Las Vegas Police Department can't figure out why this guy did it. And I can guarantee you, nobody's looking into mind control at all. Not whatsoever. And if there were any drugs put in him, we're never going to find out. You want to bet we're never going to find out? He killed himself. He still had tons of bullets. Additionally, he had 10 weapons fully loaded, ready to go. Fully loaded. But he decided to off himself while the police were hanging out outside, too scared to go in. Can't figure out why. Because that's personal information. Personal information, and we can't have that information because it's for security reasons. Departmental security reasons, maybe. We don't know. We'll never find out. But don't you have those same reasons? You don't have any confidentiality if you're being the subject of some kind of probe. See, when a department investigates themselves, which is pretty much what happened in Las Vegas, they find nothing. Nothing happened here. Never's gonna happen. And if it did happen, we don't know why it happened, but it wasn't our fault. It's never our fault. Can I shake my head at all this? I shake my head at all this. Because if we have this level of corruption, and I'm going to say it like that, it's corrupt in Vegas. And it's a shame because my father was once part of that fraternal order, that department. Every cop's part of a fraternal order. At least I think most cops are. Fraternal order of the police or whatever. Go ask them. They'll tell you. They'll tell you all about the fraternal order. Or at least what they know about it. Not what's in the higher rungs of it all, but they look out for themselves. Why wouldn't you, right? They're your buddies. And it sucks, too, because you want to trust police. We have to trust police to protect us, right? Because we're, as sheeple, all the sheeple out there, we're too busy going to street fairs to protect ourselves and acting like a bunch of degenerates. Irresponsible, not acting our age, acting like we're in high school still, a little out of high school, like we're in college. And when something big happens, a bunch of us get shot up, we wonder, what happened? What happened? And then the police department goes, well, all this happened. We can't tell you why it happened because we don't know why. And I'm wondering, is it mind control? Listen, here's some wisdom from one of my favorite characters, since we brought up Star Trek earlier. One of my favorite characters in all of Star Trek lore, Mr. Spock. Listen to what he has to say.
An ancestor of mine maintained that if you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
That's right. If we can't figure out why something happened, all reasonable doubt is gone. We can't figure it out, then most likely it is something that is improbable. Something we never calculated into the situation. The only thing left, ladies and gentlemen, has to be mind control. What else is there? When you're talking about Mr. Paddock in Vegas, Go read the report. 187